just wanted to I'm going to give this over to Tim, who's going to run this and talk about our BOBB, BOBB, our BOBB double.
We haven't told them that yet, Carol.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Going to talk about our BOBB directory and what we're doing with that, as well as kind of introduce the conversation on the deep dive into leveraging your vendors and your businesses, and then Tim will run this, but we also asked Mary Beth Eisenhart from Gainesville, Virginia, and Dan Odell, who are both like rock stars on leveraging their businesses and vendor relationships to add to this conversation as Tim leads it. So Tim, I'm just going to give it over to you, and you came on first, so you're the host already.
Yep. I already knew that. I'll let you my name. By the way, thank you. Yes, to Dan Odell and Mary Beth Eisenhart, but also I also had other people on the call as well to pick their brain, because they're also excellent at this, and that's Jay Heening and Angela May is going to be coming on a little bit later. They're with us, but we want to hear about what they have to say. So thanks everybody for showing up. You know, about a month ago, or maybe it was just a few weeks ago, I reached out to Carol because I said, you know, we need to have an ATA or revitalize our BOBB list. Our BOBB list is Better Omaha Businesses. And basically, you know, we see these emails going out all the time, looking for a plumber, looking for an electrician, and we have a list of businesses that we refer already. So I just it's a good time as we've grown to kind of just briefly talk about the BOBB list again. Explain what it is, how it works, and then of course move into leveraging your business relationships. So as I was preparing for this, I realized more and more, I only need to talk for about 10 minutes about our BOBB list. I'm going to talk about what it is, how we got there, what we need to do, but I want to go more into picking the brains of these people that are actively leveraging their business relationships, because that's really what we're here for. So, so the BOBB list, Better Omaha Businesses. What happened is when we started this company in our market, I can't speak for outside of us, virtually every real estate company in our market has an in-house vendor list of businesses they refer, plumbers, electricians, handymen, so on and so forth. And in our market, from being from one of those companies, I knew that those companies pay to be on that list. I really don't like that idea. It just sounds bad. You're paying to be on a list. That doesn't say that you're good. It says that you can afford to pay to be on the list. So we wanted to create our list that was going to be just businesses that we refer to each other, that we refer our clients. And so we created the BOBB list. It is on our intranet site, thegoodlifegroup.com. So sorry, those people that are not with our company can't see it. And the BOBB list, it's all referral based. So what it is and again, this is redundant for some of you who already know this, but just bear with me. It is all of the electricians, plumbers, and everything that each other uses. So you can go in there right now and you can look up a plumber and see what plumber is used by who. And it's also nice because then you can call Jay Heening, for example, and just say, hey, do you still use this person? You said you have a really good experience with them. And typically he'll say yes. It's what helps us keep the list current. So the BOBB list has gone very, very good. At this moment, we're at about 350 businesses on there. We manage it. I want to follow my train here. We've got about 350 businesses on there. So far, we as a company have not done a very good job of having you as agents add things to the BOBB list. So what's happened, honestly, is Lisa or Garrett have been kind of watching. And when you guys send an email out or looking for this, she's been grabbing it and putting it on the intranet. That's great, but we don't want to do that. We want to streamline this. We want this to be going so much smoother. So we are in the process of creating a new email, which will be on our website, which will be bob@betteromaha.com, where you can email it and so on and get it directly to us. I'll send all that out in a minute. But the thing about businesses, we all know that as you develop your relationships with these businesses, and as you work with them, and as you create a list of reliable, well-priced, good client businesses, then you become the one with the value, because you're the one that all your clients are coming to you because they can trust you. They know that you are keeping a current database of all these great businesses. So really, it's not just a matter of collecting and always having businesses you can refer to. It's also making sure that you are articulating that properly to your clients. The reality is our BOBB list it only goes to us agents. So we can see it and then we can share it with our clients. But what you really need, well, I shouldn't say what you need. What I like, what I have, and what some people have, I have my BOBB, my list, my referral list is forward facing, so my clients can see it. So for me, you can go to oldomaha.com, because for most of you know that I specialize in old houses. So our website, oldomaha.com, on the left hand, there's a page for contractors, and it's all of our contractors. It's plumber, it's all the things we talked about. And I've only had this on there for probably like 6 months now, and I am able to leverage that so much. I'm able to tell my clients about it, or when they call me, I just say, hey, go to my vendor list, explain it. I also have Rhonda, it helps me stay on top of that list by we're always calling these businesses just to make sure everything is going well. We want to make sure that they respond to us right too. We want to make sure that even if it's a business we haven't used in a long time, we want to make sure that they're still somebody we would trust. So let me see. The BOBB list now has about 370 people on it, businesses on it. It's a private page. We are working to make this page a Facebook page. We will eventually have a Facebook page that will be a private Facebook page, and that will be something where our businesses can go on there, where we can log on and say, hey, I need an electrician right now, and one of our electricians is going to be able to jump on it as fast as possible. But to do that, we have to do that very carefully and very slowly, because we don't want to mess it up. So there's a lot coming with that. But the other thing is, and what Carol was starting to talk about, is as we try to grow our list and we try to make sure that it's current, we realize that we're growing more and more in Iowa, and we need to make the Better Omaha business list also include Iowa. So we were trying to figure out how to do it. How do you add an I to Bob? To make it Bobby? What do you do? So we are changing the name of the BOBB list as we give it new energy. We're going from the BOBB list, here I'm going to share my screen, to the BOBB list. We're just adding a B. The BOBB list is now Better Omaha and Bluffs businesses. So can you guys see my screen right here? Yeah, so that's going to be the new name. We are going to start focusing more on, here, let me turn that off, more on both sides of the bridge, not just this side. And we really want you guys to help us grow this list. Now, the BOBB list I'm talking about, that's just our internal list. That's our internal list. That's how we put it on the back end, so that you can get names and phone numbers for your client, of businesses for your clients. Now we want to make sure that you are able to properly leverage that and turn that into whatever you want to do with it. Whether or not you have a forward facing, well, the Odells, one of the reasons the Odells are here is they have an app and it has their businesses on. I think they still have that. I want to hear about that. They also do a lot with a really good job of leveraging their business relationships with their agents or with their businesses. So I guess I want to talk more to the people that are in the room that have leveraged their business so well with their vendors. I want to know how they do it. I want to know how they do it. I want to know, like Mary Beth Eisenhart, for example. You're in Virginia. You were just in an ATA a few weeks ago. You were just starting to talk about how you leverage your business relationships. You started talking about BNI. I know you're in a BNI group, and you kill it. I mean, you do really, really well. So can you tell us a little bit more, just briefly, about where you are, how long you've been in the business, and what you do to leverage your business relationships? And I have a list of questions, but at the moment, I'm just going to let you say what you want to say.
Okay, so raise your hand or mute me when you want me to shut up. I'm Mary Beth Eisner with Long and Foster out of Northern Virginia. Thanks so much for having me again. I'm truly honored to be a part of this group. Dan Odell is like one of my mentors, so it's great to see his shining face. And I've been in the business 28 years. I've sold real estate in Southern California, Huntsville, Alabama, and Northern Virginia for the last 18. So I've reinvented myself. I've invented myself 3 times. So last year, I have a team of 3 full-time agents, buyer's agent, my daughter, Katie, who's the everything else, and then me. Last year, we did 93 transactions for 42 million. So I love the BOBB. I love the BOBB, the BBB, BOBB. but I am a member of Business Network International. We meet every Thursday, but we didn't meet today because when schools are closed in the area in which we would be physically meeting, then our Zoom meeting is canceled. And if you see a thing up on my forehead, I went to Ash Wednesday. I thought I got it all off last night. So it looks like I have this shadow of a cross on my forehead. But anyway, I have a business directory. I think I sent it to Carol. Now you notice at the top of this page, it says master. And the reason it says master is because I will change it as the year goes on. I've already put some people on the back. How do I leverage my business to business relationships? If you start a business referral group, or you start a BNI chapter, the realtor, the insurance and financial planner and CPA are typically the 4 people who start a BNI chapter. BNI's philosophy is givers gain. It's all about relationships. But in my 12 years in BNI, and this is what you need to grasp, this is crazy. I have gifted my chapter with over $2,800,000 in revenue. We are not 50 people. We are 20 to 25. My chapter, last year alone, I gifted my chapter with $363,000 in revenue. That's to the contractor, to the plumber, to the HVAC, to the painter, to the mover, to the internet tech guy, to the car repair person. So BNI, the only requirement of BNI is one profession. You're only allowed to have one person represent one profession. So you can't have 2 movers. You can't have 2 realtors. You can only have one. If you go to BNI.com, you'll learn more about it. And BNI is very structured. So if you are a free spirit, those of you in Buffini land who had your heritage profile done, if you're a free spirit, BNI might not work for you because it's all about structure. But if we all remember what Brian says, you cannot measure what you don't track. So BNI makes you track and makes you input your referrals, your thank you for closed business, and your one-to-ones you do. Like today, this would be called a one-to-one if I was just meeting with Tim or Carol and talking about business. So how do I leverage this? I take this on every appointment. If you don't have this, you can have this typed up with everybody's name on it. But the thing is, I can sit on a listing appointment and I can say, okay, you need a painter, you need a carpet cleaner, you need a house cleaner, and you're going to need a mover. And you're going to need maybe a general contractor to fix that rotted wood. I basically take my business directory and then I will highlight everybody they should call. And I will say to the seller, here's your reality, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. I trust these people. Tim said that word too. It's all about trust. I've known these people anywhere from 3 to 15 years. I even go further to say Josh Gibson is my general contractor, and Josh Gibson has done over $200,000 of work on my own house. I just am the gift that keeps on giving to Gibson Home Services. But the great thing is, and so I will tell you, if you don't have this, you have a piece of paper. And when you're on that appointment, if you're bold, and I've done this 3 times, I call up Alan Gamble and I say, Alan, where are you right now? I have a need. I have had Alan Gamble show up twice out of 3 times at a listing appointment to give the seller an estimate for a ceiling because he was in the area within 20 minutes. Now, if they're not, but they got to know. They got to know. You got to dig into the relationship. So 2 examples I want to give. Plumber, Adam Dawson, client, bought a house. Keith was selling his house and Keith had the old gray polybutylene pipes. Adam, it's Mary Beth. You're a master plumber, so you better be able to replace polybutylene pipes, right? Sure, Mary Beth. Okay, stand by, Adam. I'm calling Keith. Keith, Adam's your man. Here's his phone number. I'm texting it to you right now. I say, Adam, Keith is calling you. I need you over there to give him an estimate. And I need the work done in the next 2 weeks. That was a $7,000 referral for Adam. Adam came to my house last Sunday because I had a small leak behind my refrigerator, and he comes and fixes it. And I said, how much do I owe you? He goes, no charge. Thank you for your referrals. Now, second example, yesterday morning, I was so freaking excited. I wanted to share this on BNI today and I couldn't, so I can share it with y'all. I called Wes Duval. Wes is a pool person. He fixes pools and services pools. I said, Wes, do you build pools? No, Mary Beth, we don't. I said, okay, Wes, tell me who you know that is good at building pools. He goes, do you want cheap or do you want expensive? I said, I want middle of the road. I want good quality. People we can trust. There's that trust word again. Wes gives me the name of Alpine Pools and Jesse Proctor Pools. So here's the great thing. But at the end of the conversation, I say, Wes, the clients just might need you to come by. They have an above ground pool, one of those older ones. He goes, I said, do you fix those? He goes, yeah, Mary Beth, I'll fix those. I said, okay, I'm going to call the clients. Hear that word? I'm going to call the clients. I'm going to share your information. And then I'll find out if it's they want to build a pool or they want you to just fix their above ground pool. So long story short, at the end of the conversation, I say to Wes, now Wes, remember, I'm never too busy to help out anyone you know who's thinking of buying or selling real estate. The market is hot right now. So the great thing is when you go and be a giver, you get to ask. And it is so much fun to go be a giver. And my BNI chapter, Alan Gamble, in the BNI world, they used him as an example for 3 years when he got into BNI, because I blessed him in 1 year alone with $80,000 of business. And BNI Nova, that's our organization in the Northern Virginia region, they used Alan Gamble as a great example of what BNI does for business owners. Alan loves me because I give him work. Tolly, the HVAC contractor, loves me because I give him work. The important thing is I talk to my power team, or the people like my HVAC, my carpet person, my house cleaner, my painter, my lender, my general contractor. That was 7 people, I think. I'm here to tell you, and Michelle Gutting out of Savannah is also in BNI. I talk to them like 4 times a week. I will call them in the car. What are you doing? Where are you going? Hey, what about this? I mean, I'm always picking their brain. And Tolly, who is very quiet and very calm, I will call him up and say, I need you to come over here and give me the idiot lesson on a heat pump or whatever it is. So I'm not afraid to ask for help. And I'm not afraid to let any of these great service providers know that I'm looking for great people that I can serve too. So the important thing with business people is when you give it out in slices, it will come back in loaves, like Brian says. And the other thing Brian says years ago, I know Dan will remember this, Brian showed the Parthenon and he said, your business relationships should be one of the pillars of the Parthenon of the foundation of your business. So if you have, and business relationships, this is another thing Brian said years ago, your business relationships will grow your average sales price, because business owners know people at a higher level of income, so to speak, because those people are taking care of their houses. So the person who lives in the gated community in the $700,000 house, he's maintaining it. So he has a need for the business people. So when you refer your business people to them, they love it. And your business person in turn loves you. And you'll find, and lastly, and then I'll be quiet, you'll find that when you have great relationships with business owners, even if they say they don't work a certain area, Tolly, I'm using his as an example again, drove 50 miles to help out a mom who had her 6th child and they needed 2 new HVAC systems. And her husband is a Navy SEAL and he was deployed. And I had shared all that with Tolly, and you probably all get goosebumps right now. I shared that with Tolly and I said, you know what? Brian and Rachel Clayton, Brian's gone, he's overseas. And Brian was the referral from Andrew Paul. Everybody who's Buffini knows Andrew. So Brian and Rachel, I check in with them because they just had the 6th baby and mom had no heat. Well, she has heat now, but starting the fall, she was worried she wasn't going to have heat for the wintertime. And that's my story.
Well, I appreciate all that. And before I go on to other people, I want to ask you one thing. You talked about BNI, that you're heavily into BNI, but clearly not everybody, all of your businesses are not in your BNI. So do you, without going into the weeds too much, do you, in your database, do you have just business relationships?
Well, you know, BNI, Buffini just changed that recently. You know, they just put in that business drop down relationship. So here's the thing. I don't have that sorted yet. But what I will tell you is the people who are not in my BNI chapter, example, home inspector, I can't get a home inspector to join. So the thing with your home, as a realtor, you have, you're the center of the wheel. You have all these connections. So if you don't get them to join a chapter or an organization you're a part of, every time you reach out to them or every time you refer to them, you've got to ask for the referral, and you go deeper with the relationship by finding out what kind of people they are and what makes them tick.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Mary Beth, we're gonna have a lot more questions for you as we go, as we get further into this, but I want to ask Jay Haining a question, Jay, if you don't mind. So Jay is with us. He's one of our agents. He's a great agent, and he is in a Center Sphere group. Am I saying that right,
Yes.
Jay? And
Yep.
can you share a little bit more of your experience and how that's worked for you?
Yeah, it's very similar to BNI, only it's kind of BNI for free spirits. So it is also structured and it's growing nationally, but it was started here in the Midwest. We meet weekly. It's almost the exact same program. We use a dashboard, only it does not cost as much. It's about $300 a year to be a member. And you don't generally get kicked off if you miss a certain amount, but you will be talked to. So I have actually learned from Mary Beth reading The Go-Giver, and Dan Odell. I'm taking the advanced program with him and Maria that they're doing virtually. My coach is Tanya Bugbee from Buffini, and she talked about her business. She grew it exponentially in the Dallas area by working with female business owners. And that's how she really grew her business. And one of the things that she had talked about was being involved with a group like this. The referrals tend to be exactly what Mary Beth said. They're maybe a little higher in quality. They're a higher price point. Probably if it's coming from another business, it's probably pretty solid. So I'm averaging, I would say, I did this group last year and got a few referrals. It was my first year. I'm probably averaging a couple a month now from them. My focus, though, is exactly what the Go-Giver says, which I'm going to be really honest, that's not my nature. My nature is I'm accidentally self-centered. I'll just be honest with it. So I want to be helpful, but I also always think, well, there's an outcome. I'm going to be helpful because there's an outcome, but I'm working more on that. So I try to give the people in my group referrals as much as possible. And I try to not ask as much and just offer my services to them and to be helpful. One of the things that I've started doing, which a lot of us do a monthly mailer through Buffini or work now has one, our office has one, is I introduce a business that I trust each month on my mailer. So for tax time, I introduced my tax person in Center Sphere, and he's had some calls already. So I've also done that with a coupon for the fall to get your HVAC serviced. My HVAC guy said, yeah, I'll give him 25% off, or I'll give him a cash discount. So I introduced him and he went out to my whole database. Most of the people will pay for your postage too that month. So I've asked them to do that. Say like, hey, I'm going to send you to my database, and I've really restructured my database so it's not just as huge and broad. I'm trying to go, narrower and deeper. So I have them pay for the postage. I'll do all the work, give me a flyer, I'll print it, and I'm going to send it out. And then let me know who you hear from. And a couple didn't hear from anyone, but a couple have. So I just figure it makes me look like I have better connections as well. The other thing I would say really quickly is focusing on being a giver and working that route. And the other thing with that, okay, here's what I've learned with business people is everybody and their dog knows a realtor. Everyone and their dog knows a roofer. And so I tell the people, I've got lenders in my Center Sphere group like BNI, and I tell them that I absolutely can't give you all of my referrals, obviously, but I'm going to give you as many as possible. And I'd like you to do the same for me. If you can give me 2 or 3 a year, I'm going to try to do the same for you. And if we're all doing that, we're going to have a lot of referrals. I don't expect them to give me everyone. I want them to fit. I want to work with people that I like. So if they know that the person is a certain type of person that I am not going to mesh well with, I drop the occasional F-bomb. I have kind of a bad sarcastic sense of humor. If that's not going to fit with those people, I don't really want them. So I don't have,
Yeah,
what's that? What?
All parts of you.
Right. So, yeah, I'm excited about the new BOBB. I don't have that. I would like to utilize that more. I'm really what I'm really focused on right now is I think what Mary Beth and Dan and these people who have done this a lot longer already have. I'm actually going to go meet with certain plumbers and certain people that I refer to and say, hey, I want you to be my guy. And I want you, this is how I want to work this. Dan and those guys are a lot more brave than I am. They have a lot bigger business. I'm not the type that says, this is what I need you to do in order to be on my list. That makes me a little scared so far. But with their business, they've inspired me because of the amount of business that they do with their business network. So at some point, one last thing, and then I'll be quiet. I tried to do this on my own. My coach said, just go pick some people, start having a breakfast, which is like Dan and those guys do, and start your own. I could not get people to commit to that for the life of me. It didn't pan out for me. So what has worked for me is to join a group like BNI, like CenterSphere. There are a couple other agents in our company that are in CenterSphere groups as well. So like Amy Stewart, I believe is, myself. I mean, you can reach out if you want more information. Jay Morales, I think, was instrumental in starting CenterSphere, so he's a good resource. But
I didn't know that.
That's what I have. Thanks.
No, well, thank you. But don't you mute yourself. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So first of all, thank you for sharing all that. And also thank you for talking about what your expectations are and that agents know, or your vendor knows other realtors, because that's important to touch on. Let me ask, before I go on to Dan, I want to ask both you two, in your experience, both with your Synergy, your BNI and the other CenterSphere, do you have requirements that you have to send other people within your group per year? Or is it just what you just said, you just kind of did it? And are there people in your sphere that you would never send business to?
Yes. So we don't have a requirement for the amount. It's just kind of an expectation, hopefully. But I have to trust them, and we're very upfront about that. Like, I have to trust you. I'm going to put my name to you. So there is one guy in my group that I wouldn't trust him with my money, and I'm probably not going to suggest him to other people. However, if I have a random person who I don't know, he might make the list periodically. Okay, if I'm going to send a list of 3 people, and he might be the 3rd on the list, but I'm not going to give him probably a specific recommendation. And I'm only going to do that because I think, well, now I sound like one of these Buffini people. What you put out,
you are, Jay.
Yeah, I am. I know. I sold out. So what you put out, you get back. So he's going to work for somebody. He makes a living doing this. I just don't really like him. So somebody's going to like him, and somebody does like him because he's in business and doing well. So.
Well, I appreciate that.
Add a question to your question, Tim, is just add the question with that from both of you, is do you bring in on your BNI and CenterSphere, do you bring in guests to speak, or is it all up to the people who are the members? So tell us a little bit about, because I know these are questions that have been asked of me recently and some of the people that I coach. So who do you bring in, and how long do they have? And like, what's the structure of something like that it takes? And are you
we're always looking for people to come in and speak, and we're growing our chapter more. We're only about 8 people. It got very small, and we kind of weeded people out and started fresh. So
cool.
CenterSphere keeps a wait list of people who can visit different groups virtually, which has been nice. So they can explore different groups and see where they fit. Most of the time, you're going to find every one of these groups, probably in BNI and CenterSphere, has a realtor, has a lender, has a roofer.
Mm-hmm.
We're like the common core people.
Yeah.
I'm looking for these people like hairdressers, people that talk to people all day long, like in a higher end salon, or the people that aren't necessarily house workers. You know, I want to reach out beyond the house. Yeah. So those are, I think, really important people to get, that I'm working on trying to find as well.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So
well, before Dan, I want to have Aaron. Yeah, please go, Mary Beth.
So BNI does not have a requirement to bring in a certain amount of referrals or to do a certain number of one-to-ones or a certain amount of business. So we track it. And if you aren't doing, again, can't measure, don't track, activities produce results. If you aren't doing the one-to-ones, or you haven't given any referrals, when you come up for membership renewal, sorry about that. When you come up for membership renewal every year, Oops, I'm plugging in my phone. I turned it on silent, so apologize. When
Okay.
you come up for membership renewal every year, BNI requires you to sit down with the membership committee via Zoom to figure out what can we do to help you. So BNI tries to mentor and coach people up. And then Carol, we don't have speakers come in, we are the speakers. So we have a calendar and it's usually 8 weeks out telling you who the speakers are. So when I look at the calendar, they send me on Wednesday night before the Thursday meeting, I'm looking, I know who the speaker was supposed to be this week. I want to try to go find what we call visitors. And visitors are the people I want to invite to BNI to hear the speaker speak. So if Carl, the financial planner, is speaking in 2 weeks, I want to bring people and invite people who I think would benefit from Carl. Even if they're not a business owner, I might bring a new buyer or a seller or someone who I think needs to have a financial planner in their corner. So we have a roofer, we have a title person, we have a internet guy, we have a guy who does waterproofing for houses, we have a body shop car repair person, we have a digital marketing person, we have a CPA. I mean, we have insurance people. So it's not just home service providers in our group. BNI is open to anybody. You're an entrepreneur. We had a hairdresser at one time. Our group used to be called the Wedding Mafia because this is true. Everybody in Northern Virginia knew we were the Wedding Mafia group. We had a wedding planner. We had a wedding photographer. We had a videographer. We had a bridal shop owner. We had a florist and we had a DJ. We had 6 people in our Wedding Mafia. And here's what I will tell you. They didn't always bring in the most money, but boy, they were kicking some booty. And the little ringleader of them, the wedding planner, kind of kept everyone together in line, so to speak, because they referred each other continuously. Last thing I want to remind you guys, if you don't have one of these groups and you're on a social media page, I'm on Prince William Chatter. That's the county I live in. I need a roofer. Who knows a good roofer? You should tag your business person that you know, tag their business with the @ symbol, @roofsimple, and then tag Colin Stewart in the body of the email. And then you call Colin Stewart up and say, Colin, I just tagged you on Prince William Chatter. Hopefully you're going to get a call from somebody named so-and-so. If you do, let me know. I'll put it in as a BNI referral if he's in BNI. If I tag him, I just call him and say, hey, Colin, I know you're not in BNI, but if there's anybody you know who's thinking of buying or refinancing or selling this year, I'd love to be introduced to them.
Beautiful. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I love it. That's great. Well, let's move on to Dan. Dan O'Dell is in the room. Dan, if you wouldn't mind. Dan has been a guest speaker here for us a couple times in the past. His wife is Maria. I don't know if she's with you today. And Dan, you're in Kansas City, Overland Park, really, right?
Yes, Overland Park, Kansas City metro area. Anything in Kansas City, we can either work it or refer it. Yes.
Well, Dan's an excellent agent. They have a phenomenal team, and we know that they heavily leverage their business relationships. So Dan, would you mind just talking for a little bit and tell us what you do?
I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint most people on this call, all 42 of you, just because what we're trying to do is not nearly as organized as what Jay's doing and what Mary Beth is doing. And it's just more about time and resources. Not to minimize business relationships are critical. And I take this whole thing differently than some people. I'm not in BNI. I'm not in a referral. I'm not in a single referral organization or network.
It's okay.
Because I just I've never found a BNI chapter in Kansas City that was worth investing time in because for a myriad of reasons. But I believe in the process of connecting business owners to our clients for the main reason that I can't do my job unless my business vendors are excellent. I can't sell houses. I can't move people forward unless I can get the wood rot done, the house painted, the kitchen remodeled, or the carpets cleaned. So I make that very clear that I'm more interested in having these guys do a great job, make their margin, and allow me to do my job of getting these people into their next chapter of their life. So we do have a business directory. We use a software by the application by the name of Dizzle. I believe it's Dizzle we're still using, and that's an online directory system. It is okay. It's not great. It's okay. We share it on our website, and we have multiple people doing multiple things. We do not exclusive. We're not exclusive. We don't have one financial planner, one lawyer, one hairdresser, one carpet cleaner, and one lender. We have multiples because a lot of these people come and go. Even though they're committed to relationships, some of them come and go, and they have chapters of their life where they become really good and then they suck. And I have got to have more than one resource to connect people to. I never refer more than one person at a time, but some of these people come and go and can become extremely unreliable. And on the other hand, people that get it and understand our philosophy get multiple referrals from me, and then I build relationships, and then I start leveraging. As Jay said, I think that I think the quote of the day was, I think, Jay, you said something to me that I've said privately, but I'm helpful because there is an outcome. I'm really not that nice. You're nice. I'm not, but I do this because I can create more sales, help more buyers and sellers, cash more checks, and have more freedom and give more money away. And
hey, Dan, really quick, I want to interject and so you understand. We are talking about BNIs as well, but that is not the only part of this subject, this meeting. The reality is BNIs are just one way to leverage your business relationships.
Right.
So we do want to hear about how you do things. The truth is, we're not going to be disappointed. Your vendor breakfasts are phenomenal. Now, have you done them in the last year, though?
We have not. We've done a couple virtual ones, and they've been moderately successful. So we bring people. We like to bring people together. Like Carol likes to bring, like all you guys in Omaha like to bring people together, so that we can see your face, smile, and hug your cheeks, and really understand how committed you are or not. And then we could bring content to these vendors. But anyone that wants to come to our vendor breakfast, other than realtors, are invited to come. And they don't have to have a connection to me. They don't necessarily have to have a connection to our company. If they want to learn and get better, and then the wheat gets separated from the chaff, and the ones that are really interested in building relationships become very prominent, and the ones that are in it for themselves become very prominent as well. So we do breakfasts. We have done them for almost 20 years, and we bring content to people who want to grow. And that's what we do. We record them now. We put them on our website. We bring in special speakers and all kinds of stuff. But the bottom line is we have content to deliver, and anyone that wants to get better, we deliver the content on how to have good customer service, how to understand how to create a legacy business. What does a relationship system really mean, and how do you create it? How can you create a profitable business and have a profitable balance sheet and P&L? All kinds of things. We've had speakers, local speakers, national speakers, people that write books. I've had Buffini people fly in around the country multiple times and speak. I haven't been able to coerce Carol to come yet, but I will, or Tim. But the bottom line is we're trying to give, so that when people are in my customers' living rooms, they're doing a great job, because that is critical. Usually 5 to 10 items have to be successfully concluded to list a property. And I want to bring in all 5 or 10 of those vendors, because I at least have half a chance of getting success and getting them to show up.
Do you have off the top of your head what percentage of your business has been?
I can probably point to 20% of our business is either directly or indirectly connected to a vendor relationship.
Got it.
Okay. Cool. But
I ask you a question around that when you're done giving that?
Of course, I'm done.
I just want to ask you one quick question, because I think it's important. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think one of the things that you didn't speak to that, I'm going to brag on you a little bit, Tim will too, but is that what you really are doing with all of these breakfasts that you have with vendors and the relationship is educating and teaching them how to have a referral business themselves, because so many of them, and especially a lot of the small businesses, they have a list of phone numbers and first names in their contacts. And so I think what you actually have accomplished, and you do have a system for it, and it's a great system, is educating and teaching them how to create their own system, so they understand the referral business versus the fly by night, whatever comes to them, and they're constantly recreating their business. So speak to how you do that.
You know, you understand that MB and I have been on 3 or 4 calls in the last couple of months, and it's been just refreshing to see what someone who's motivated from the inside can give back. And when you are working, when someone brings me into their home, 2 things happen. Number 1, I have credibility instantaneously, and number 2, I can get a margin, because people are not going to beat me up for. They want service. They want an outcome, as Jay said. They want an outcome. I love that freaking phrase. Helpful because there is an outcome. I am going to steal that, buddy, because that is me. That is me. Okay. And so if I can teach people to respond to a freaking phone call and show up and provide a good level of service, they're going to be able to get on the bandwagon, and they're going to create a referral-based business for life. And they're not going to have to join Angie's List, and they're going to be able to charge a fair wage to get a fair compensation and not gouge people. They're going to have to be competitive, like we're required to be competitive, but they're not going to be able to be beat up for $50 when they're doing a $500 job. Okay. So I am all about sharing the wealth and not really becoming exclusive. That's just me. I'll give you one example. We've got 120 agents in our Buffini's Pathway to Mastery Advanced class this year. Right now, we're in our 7th week, going to our 7th week out of 8. And we have 50 agents from Kansas City, and we have about 175 agents from out of town and whatever. And what's happening, I am highlighting Kansas City agents on this class. I am bringing Kansas City agents on the class to talk about how they run their businesses. People that work right next to me, people that are quote unquote competitors of mine. I'm highlighting the best talent that I have so that people can understand it's not about me. It's about elevating the game. And the more we can elevate the game, the more the guy that can stir the drink really, really well is going to create an advantage for themselves. There's going to be an outcome for me, because I'm getting national recognition because I'm bringing on people that sit right next to me and are considered competitors, because I don't believe I have competitors. I really do not. If I lose a deal because I promoted someone who I trust in my own market, I'll get 10 back. Yeah. I will get 10 back. I am just not worried about that anymore. I'm too damn old, and I just don't want to get. So my point is, agents, promote good people and be committed to relationships and expect great things as far as an outcome goes.
I like that. Yeah, if you do the right thing and your heart's in the right place, everything will fall into place. So yeah. I like it a lot. So well, yeah. I'm sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan.
No, I'm done. I'm good.
We have somebody else on the call that I would love to visit with for a moment, and that's Angela May. She's also with us. Angela, you also do a lot with your BNI group specifically, but it's your vendor relationships, your businesses. I know you've been in the business for a long time. You have a good following. Your businesses refer you. You refer them. So we'd like to hear more about your experiences with your vendor relationships and how you've leveraged your BNI as well. So it's kind of a 2 conversation thing. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Well, as far as the business relationships, nothing like he's doing. That's pretty awesome. Mine's more just being in the groups and showing up every week and being committed, and but still the same theme, supporting people that are awesome. And our BNI chapter was started, gosh, I think it's been almost 11 years ago. And I was, someone asked me to join it, somebody I really knew and trusted, a really great vendor. And she had to talk me into it, because I don't know if any of you have heard about BNI, but everything I had heard was not good. I mean, supposedly it brought lots of business, but I had been told that you have to bring a couple leads every week or you basically get shamed, and all these things that did not appeal to me whatsoever. But she said, no, we're not going to do it like that. And I said, okay. So I tried it out, and I ended up loving the core group that she initially chose. There were like 6 people. And I think 3 of us are still in the group that started it. A lot of them the other ones have just moved or left the state or, got other jobs. But but yeah, it's been a really great experience, the BNI chapter. And I missed the first part. I told you I wouldn't get here on time, so I don't know what all was talked about, but we do only have one profession per, our group. There can be 2 real estate agents, but you want one, we've been looking for a commercial agent forever, but preferably somebody who doesn't also sell residential, but so you can do some crossover. You just have to pick your specific area. And I like that because, it's just nice. I just like having the one profession, but I do other things where it's not like that, but this is the main one I've stayed in over the years. I don't just go to get a lead. In fact, when I show up, I don't even expect one. I mean, you get 1 lead a year and it more than pays for your membership. So, but it's not just that, it's the relationships. I love that I can give, probably it's already been discussed, that I can give names of everyone in that group. I completely trust them. I let them in my own house and they show up when they say they're going to show up. They don't, try to swindle people. They're reliable. And they're also, because we're sending them a lot of business, if I call one of them and say, hey, I'm in a situation, we got to close in 2 days, can you help me out? If they're slammed, they're going to make room to try to help me out. And I just really appreciate that. And like all of us, any name we share reflects on us. So I really love that group. I look forward to it every Tuesday. If I don't go, I miss it. And that's the only reason I've stayed in. It's also got a lot of great business leaders in it. So I get to learn from them and grow with them. And we've watched a lot of people grow. And it's just I'm in a really great chapter. We do not shame people for not bringing leads. In fact, we don't talk about it. I mean, we would rather have a quality lead once every 2 months than get a bunch of junk, so that's just how we do our chapter.
I think that does make sense. Well, outside of your BNI, you also do a lot with just your leveraging your business relationships. I mean, you refer them a lot, they refer you. Do you keep your database of businesses separate, or is it just blended in with your regular database?
For
specific businesses, like, do you market to your business vendor basis?
No, I just try to be really appreciative and thank them if they send us something. In fact, I mean, as a real estate agent in a group like that, I'm sure lots of people in here are in different groups. Obviously, we're going to have way more opportunity to refer people than they're going to have to refer us, like lenders or any of those things. So I really don't expect referrals from those people. I never have. I mean, if we get one, great, but it's much more important to me, and I'm sure everyone else here, that they just take excellent care of the person I referred them to. And that's good enough for me. I mean, hopefully they would trust me enough to give my name out, if the opportunity came up, but really just more so than the leads even to me, I really am appreciative of the fact that I can trust them. And I know that they're going to take care of my client without overcharging them and those kind of things. So,
well, and that is, you said, what did you miss? And it's pretty much, we've been discussing that really it's about giving. And the more you give, then it does start coming back to you. I will say I always say that if I ever had to start my real estate business all over again and move to another city, I would start with business relationships, because these are the people that are already, even though I don't know them, I can meet them. I can learn who the good ones are. I can show them I'm going to work my butt off to refer you so that you refer me. I can be transparent and just say, I don't know anybody. My goal is to prove that I'm going to do a really good job and you're going to refer me. I'm going to refer you so much that you're going to have to refer me. I mean, the truth is you can do that. But then when you think about that, it doesn't have to be me going to a new city. You could do that as a brand new agent in a new community. It's all a matter of just trusting them, trusting the business, trusting that they're going to do a good job, and referring them. And to Mary Beth's point, I will have to tell you, I have had so many things done on my house for free, and I did not ask, nor did I expect it. That was never an expectation. But when I call a guy to repair my dishwasher or spray for ants or something, they just do it, because they're always like, Tim, thanks for your referrals. Thanks for your referrals. Thanks for your referrals.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
I wanted to share something for everybody else. You're so right about, just giving to the business owners. So an idea, if people are like, I don't want to join BNI chapter, I don't want to join CenterSphere. I looked it up while we were here. I don't want to bring people together to have a Zoom meeting with them. I go to this, who goes to the same florist? You probably all go to the same florist on occasion. Maybe you go to that florist 6 times a year. I've been going to the same florist year after year after year. I get to know the owner. He's not a member of BNI. He's got his own shop. I've watched him go through the changes. But then last year, Lo and behold, he gives me a referral for a $600,000 sale. A woman came in and said, I'm thinking of selling my house. And he said, I have the best realtor for you. So I think if you get to know your favorite business people and you drop them notes and you let them know, send them a personal note. Thank you for doing such a great job on this flower arrangement. Or you send a note to the server at the restaurant, or you send a note to the manager. Just get to know those people and you will be amazed at how, if you continue to drip to those business people, they will refer you.
I know everybody in this room knows it, but because everybody gets notes from me like crazy, but I average 10 notes a day. And it's, if I bump into somebody at the grocery store, they get a note. If I have a really good service at a restaurant, they get a note. It's just constant. It's the one thing about me you can count on. Okay, let's, now we have about 10 minutes left, so we need to open this up. We have a lot of really good content here, and I want to open it up for questions. So bring it on. Somebody raise their hand.
I just wanted to say that just because I'm in the BNI group, I don't just refer those people. I mean, I think all of us feel that way. I refer the best person for the job. So I'm sure that a lot of you do that. And you had said earlier, it's great for a new agent to go do those things, but an old agent can do it too. I mean, like all of us old people that have been doing this for a while, we can go like Mary Beth was saying, go to people that you see all the time. But I think a lot of times, a lot of those business I've learned over the years that I frequent and they know my face and I know them, they don't know I'm a real estate agent because I don't go around, the longer you do it, the less you kind of just bring it up and talk about it. So I think you have to let them know you're a realtor, so writing a note with your card in it's perfect, but just want to
agents.
I love it. Any questions? Somebody else has got something. Oh, come on. Okay.
I think something that everybody can do, maybe we speak to this a little bit, and is in both Dan or Mary Beth that have done this as a regular practice, and Angela, I'm sure you've done this too, is to find a business person, vendor that you really, really like, but they run their business really, really haphazardly, and take them and help them and start even doing partnered mailings for them or something where you're doing it together. I think they have to see the model of it. So talk to us, either Dan, Mary Beth, anybody that's on here that does this, on kind of how you do it. You ask them to lunch, you ask them to coffee, or what do you do and how do you do that to get them like going on it, on building their referral business themselves and database.
Dan, how about you got that? Would you mind?
Well, first of all, it's really hard to throw yourself at somebody and say, I'm in real estate and I just saw you paint my house, or just saw you paint my neighbor's house, and would you like to have coffee? It's really got to, in my opinion, it's got to come, as Tim said, 10 notes a day, every day. And everyone that comes in contact with me is going to get a note. I'm going to Mary Beth, I bet you in the last 2 years, I've got 10 notes from her. Okay. And that's just me. That's not my wife. That's just me. It's either here or it's not. It's either here or it's not. And those of you that are new, there is so much. I wish I was new again, because I'd like to reinvent myself again, because what you know as a new agent being involved with the Omaha Real Estate Organization, with Tim and Carol, you guys have got more wealth in your backyard than almost any market in the entire USA. And these guys are willing to share with you their gifts and their skills. And so you have to just do it every single day. How you bring people, if you see someone that gets it, you got to introduce yourself. Hi, I sell real estate. I'm involved with Brian Buffini, one of the top real estate coaches that comes in America. And my job is to help you be great. Okay. And what do you mean? Well, you paint houses and I need somebody to paint. I suck at painting houses. I need someone to paint houses. Okay. I need someone that's really passionate, really gets it. And I could connect you to the world if you just give me some time. I don't want anything from you. I want to give something to you. And you have to really be inspiring and passionate, and they got to see that it's not about you, it's about them. And you've got to do it in a myriad of different ways: calls, notes, pop-bys, communication, love, care, competence. And they've got to just see it. And then once the word gets out, Mary Beth has more people in her. I used this the other day, and Mary Beth has got more people in her hip pocket than she's ever going to get to in a month. Okay, ready to go. People that she can refer businesses, people that want to buy and sell houses. That's why she's got a team. That's why she's got her daughter. That's why she's got a rock star small team that is kicking butt. My point is it comes through consistent action of giving heart. And then the last thing I'll say is you better be freaking damn good at selling a house. Damn good at buying or selling a house. Okay. And being the advocate that your customers require. Okay. You can be kind and sweet and you want to build relationships, you want to help business, but when it comes, when the shit hits a fan, you've got to come and you've got to perform to your clients so they know you've got their back, especially now. Okay. And that's the bottom line on all this thing. Okay. Because it's going to give you, because you're kind and you're thoughtful, you're going to get an opportunity to buy and sell a house. You better be the best in the world at it. And you better be constantly striving for perfection in that area. That's my point.
No, I love it. I think
Yeah, to add on to Dan's point, sometimes I think we're afraid to tell people what we do for them. So, do you tell the list sellers that you're going to vet every single buyer and talk to every single lender? But to answer the question that was posed, I would tell each of you, and some people won't agree with me, never leave home without your name badge on, just like American Express. Wear your name badge and wear it on this side, not on the heart side, but on the opposite side. Because when you go to shake hands, you shake usually with your right hand. And that way people's line of sight is up to the side where your name badge is. I don't have mine on today because we're doing this. I usually wear it on a Zoom call. I always wear it on BNI because I want people to know that I'm a realtor. When you go to those restaurants, when you go to the flower shop, when you go anywhere, if you wear that name badge on, they know you're a realtor and that's going to spark a conversation. And the thing is, you just don't know who has a need. So would you want them to work with the worst agent in your market? Heavens no. My vendors don't pay to be in my fancy business directory. Nobody pays to be in the directory, but I tell every client, and I have more than one. So you're right. I have 4 lenders. Here are my 4 lenders. But if you'd like me to choose one for you, I'm happy to, but you can call any one of them. Here's my 2 house cleaners. The bottom line is this: people who you refer them business to are going to know you have their back and the business person has your back. Just like Dan said, you guys are sitting on a gold mine with the knowledge that Tim and Carol have. You have a gold mine yourself. It's right under your feet. It's all the great business professionals that you've known over the year. If you're new to the business, this was me 18 years ago. I'm new to real estate and I need a lender. Do you want to be my friend? It's like being on Mr. Rogers and welcoming them to the show. That's what it's all about. I'm new to real estate. I'm looking for a home inspector. Do you want to be my home inspector? Just go Sesame Street on them.
And to follow up what she said about the name badges, there's an agent in our company that wears hers everywhere and picked up a client during a colonoscopy. So Kelly Michalunas, if she's here. So
she's not here. She's got some funny stories because she always wears her name badge, and some of them, and I have to tell you, she's gotten some really amazing clients from wearing her name badge.
Right.
Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you guys. To kind of summarize where we should go from here, the BOBB list. The BOBB list is our internal group of businesses. First of all, we need you guys to help us fill it in. So rely on it, fill it in. The email for this now is bob@betteromaha.com, BOBB at betteromaha.com. If you have any suggestions, please email that. We're trying to breathe more life into the BOBB list to make it full. Now, that BOBB list is agents, businesses that we refer to each other. So how do you leverage? You don't leverage that BOBB list with your clients. You need to create your own vendor list that however that is, the businesses you trust, but then you need to rely on the BOBB list for your clients so that you can say to your clients, I have got an excellent anything. That's what the BOBB list is for.
Hey, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to say about your BOBB list, and I've looked at your old Omaha business directory people.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys need to list the individual who you want them to call at the company.
Good point.
For example, not picking on you, Tim, but because you put it out there.
Sure.
In your chimney sweep, Alpine chimney sweep, who should I call at Alpine? Here's what I do. Are you ready for this? And I'm not looking at anything. You need your you have no heat today, Mr. Seller. I need you to call Twin Air at 703-754-1062. When you call, you're going to get Jennifer or Natalie. Let Jennifer and Natalie know you're one of my clients. They're going to take great care of you. Tolly's the owner, and he's in my BNI chapter. And his son, Jeremy, they're twins. That's why they call it Twin Air. Yeah. Anyway, I want you to call Twin Air today. And if you don't get them on the phone, here's their email, office@twinairllc.com. So in your BOBB list, decide, ask, hey, Tim, I'm putting together this business directory, great business professionals I know. I want to know if you want to be in it. But if you want to be in it, and here's a great question. Do you want to grow your business 15 to 20% in 2021? If the answer is no to that business owner, don't include them. I tried to bring out orthodontist to BNI years ago. Mary Beth, I'm too busy. I don't need it. Okay, fine. I'm still going to put you in my business directory. If you put them in the business directory or the BOBB list or online, give the name of the person they should be calling.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that. Spot on.
Yeah.
I love it. Any other final words from anybody?
I have something really fast that I've been doing for years, and probably most people here do it too, but I always, if I give a list of names for anything, I always put at the top that we don't receive anything in return for referring these clients. They earned the right to be on here because of the fantastic service, and they give us peace of mind to take care of you. Because I think there's a big misconception before I was a realtor that even when they were pushing their local lender on me the first time I bought a house when I wasn't in the, I thought for sure they had something in cahoots because she just wouldn't let up on it. And so I always put that on top of anything if it's something that I'm sending, or I'll verbally say it to them because I don't want them to think that I'm getting a kick. Well, they don't know what kickback is, but I don't want them to think I'm getting paid or there's some kind of exchange going on. I tell them they earned the right to be on this list. And if you don't have as great of an experience, please let me know. And I think that helps. Just a lot of people just don't understand our relationship with other vendors, I think. So
Good point. Very good point. So we're about ready to wrap up, Tim. We're a minute over. I want to just give incredible gratitude to all of you, Angela, Jay, Mary Beth, and Dan, for the contribution that you've done. And Angela, did I say her at the beginning? Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, because the content here is what makes this Agents Teaching Agents, and what comes out of here goes so far beyond the room that you're sitting in that it's just, this is the way you build relationships. So thank you, all of you. Anybody who has any questions that you want to follow up with, any information that you want, reach out to me, reach out to anybody that's on here. If you want to know more about BNI, talk to Angela about that. I also know that Laura Osborne just asked me a gajillion questions about BNI and Centersphere. Actually, Angela, you're Centersphere. And who's Centersphere? Jay. So reach out to them to talk about whether that's an alternative and an option that will work for you. So thank you. And Tim, thank you so much for hosting this and keeping it organized and with all of us chatters.
I will say thank you. I will send an email out to our company letting everybody know about the change with the BOBB list, and also try to encourage it. So, because not everybody was on this call. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. You're the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye.